Good evening. My name is Michael Perez-Sprandel, and today we're going to be talking about the science behind muscle growth and recovery. So, tearing your muscles is the first step to building them up, all right? Let's talk about here. Training equals micro tears in the fiber. All right, let's talk about that really quick, okay? So, whenever you train, all right, you're basically creating micro tears in your muscles, all right? That way, they're going to tear, all right, and then they're going to recover and build back stronger, all right? So, whenever you lift, body repairs itself and it gets bigger and stronger, okay? Gets more prepared for the next time you do it, all right? Go to the next slide here. So why should you care? All right, so lifting, you can't grow, without recovery, and you also be wasting your gains as well. So most people don't understand what's really happening here, all right? But basically, recovery is, rest, sleep, and repair, all right? And you also need 7 to 9 hours of sleep as well. That will increase testosterone and include an HGH release, which is human growth hormone as well, which plays a part in building up the muscles. And let's also talk about those rest days, all right? They're really crucial, all right? So whenever you take those rest days, you avoid overtraining, all right? Let's move on to this next slide over here. It's all right. Muscle growth equals hypertrophy, okay? We see here, this is a photo example of a sore muscle right there. So as we just talked about earlier, whenever you take rest days, you avoid that right there, all right? Or let's say you're a beginning lifter, all right? That's called delayed onset muscle soreness, which is something we'll be talking about later in this, presentation right there. And basically it happens, all right, after the first time you lift, after a long time, let's say 2 months, or, you're a beginning lifter, and this is the first time you lifted up, overall, all right? So this is stuff that we just talked about right here, all right? Whenever you, do resistance training, all right, like say some bicep curls right here, all right, that creates muscle tears, micro tears in the fibers, all right. And I said the body repairs itself stronger and thicker whenever you grow back, all right. And the real growth happens during the rest, whenever you take those rest days, or after your workout, whenever you chill out, let's say you just do some low intensity, like low stress kind of activity, something that's really pleasurable, okay. Let's say just something like driving, I don't know if you like driving around or what, but something that calms you down, all right? My source there, as you can see. So as we talked about here, recovery equals growth time, all right? You need, excuse me, I'm sorry. You need 48 hours for full repair right there, as you can see. Whenever you sleep, it's you make sure to get an adequate amount of sleep, which is 7 to 9 hours, as you can see right there, 7 to 9 hours, all right? That'll equal an HGH, boost, which is human growth hormone, as we said. Testosterone boost as well, which, is the male the male hormone. It plays a crucial part in a lot of the body's processes for men, all right, as well as, women. And so basically overtraining, you don't want to do that, all right? Overtraining leads to just more injury rather than growth, all right? You're not seeing a lot of progress. You're seeing more soreness and just, fatigue. You're not really getting anywhere when you do that, all right? So make sure to dial back your workouts, scale up the intensity, scale down the amount of volume. That way you'll be saving yourself the amount, the just amount, of energy that you need to complete the workout. Nothing too much, nothing too little, all right? Just enough, all right? And so it says there, to give your muscles time to recover, rest one full day between exercising each specific muscle group, and that comes from Mayo Clinic, as you can see right there. Moving on to our next slide, fueling your gains, all right? So fueling up is just as important as doing the action itself, all right? So you have, in order to, have an adequate diet, you want to have adequately 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, all right? And that will repair your tissue very, very efficiently. But also, really necessary to remember that you also need carbs as well, because that'll also restore your glycogen, which is basically your fuel as well. Because, as you know, your muscle is made up of 3 parts water, and then 1 part glycogen store, all right? And then we have there creatine, all right? And that boosts strength, helps recovery. There's a lot of new studies that support its processes right there. As you can see in my visual aid, you want to incorporate all of these 4 categories, which is carbs, fat, protein, and fiber into your workout. Okay, and so basically, concluding it off, all right, the formula for muscle growth, you want to train hard, you want to recover smart, fuel right, And if you skip one, you're gonna kill your progress. It's simple as that, all right? So basically, just remember to incorporate a good diet. A good recovery is just as well as a good training exercise, all right? And train smart, not hard, all right?